don't want to touch that. You locked me out.
See this?
Madness, what temperature is it? Oh, it's come up in temperature now.
It's a little bit warmer. It was -4.
So we're sitting in a very noisy van because we've got the gas heater on as well as the van heater, just trying to clear the windscreen. There's ice on the inside. It was down to -6 last night, as it was the night before. People are wondering why we don't want to stay in Bulgaria too long. This is the main reason. It's really cold here. We tried to cross into North Macedonia yesterday, but turns out our completely comprehensive European insurance cover is not completely comprehensive, and it actually excludes the majority of the countries we were wanting to visit in the Balkans area. So we were turned away at the border. Well, no, we were not turned away. They offered we could buy insurance there, but we were only going to be there a matter of hours, and they wanted to charge us 230 euros, which seemed a bit much. So we said we'll go back to Bulgaria. So the plan is today, we've spoken to the insurance company last night, and we definitely are covered for Serbia, but not for Bosnia. So we're going to cut straight through Serbia to the north of Croatia today. So that's the plan. Bulgaria is not so great at the whole putting trash in the bin thing. You see over there? Like, it's so beautiful. And then you have this, which just kind of ruins the beauty of nature. Few days since our last update, and here we are in Croatia.
We are parked up beside Karinsko Moor.
It's gorgeous here. Over the past few days we did a hell of a long drive through Serbia.
Gosh, yeah.
We got through the border crossing, no problem at all. Because we'd tried to get into North Macedonia, we were quite far south in relation to where people normally cross the border into Serbia. So Google Maps took us through this mad mountain road, and we got to the border crossing and it was like so isolated and desolate, and this guy emerges from a hut smoking a fag, like, what are you doing here? And he was very confused by everything, but they didn't even check our insurance documents.
Nope,
nothing. They did a thorough check of the van, you know, with their guns out, kind of. It was a bit terrifying.
Yeah, but once they'd done that, they were like, on you go.
Yeah. Have a nice holiday.
Don't care.
So we drove for a couple of hours through the Serbian mountains. The roads were a bit dodgy, but the views were spectacular. I didn't have the camera to hand then, because when the guns were out at the border crossing, we put the cameras and everything away.
Yeah.
So, and we hadn't stopped to get them out because we were just keen to make it across the country. But I got some clips on my phone, so I'll pop those in. Gorgeous country, so nice. And after about 2 hours we got onto the toll road and it just became really dull, flat, grey.
Motorway.
Motorway, and it was raining and snowing, and so we just drove for about 5 hours on the motorway. Got to the Croatian border, very smooth border crossing, just your standard border crossing, quite busy.
Check the van and you go.
Yep. They waved us in. We spent the first night parked up by a river in just the very north of Croatia. And that was a bit of a panic night because our phones were not working, even though they should have been, and Scott managed to get a bit of signal and he was able to get in touch with tech support, and that went on for several hours. So
Eventually got the phones working.
eventually got the phones working.
We're able to navigate some more.
Yeah, so then the next night we parked up in a forest as we did a really long drive in the day, and it was freezing cold. And then I was going to get the camera out at the last park up, but it was about -6 with the wind chill, and
Just couldn't do much.
we were on a mountain, like in a quarry, and I think it was like a wind tunnel, and it was so cold, and we arrived just as the sun was setting, and we left early in the morning because it was just too cold there. So that's Croatia so far. The north is freezing cold, but we've come down to kind of I would say the midpoint.
Yeah, kind of halfway up the length of the country at the coast.
Yeah, and now yesterday it was just windy and miserable all day, but today the sun is out, so this is going to be lovely for a work day. We've got a beautiful park up. We're going to get some work done over the next few days, and then hopefully explore some more of this country.
Icy.
Not warm like the water in Turkey.
Not at all.
So we're now down here. And we were up there. Why did we come this way?
Adventure.
Adventure. We're gonna have to walk back up there again. It's very bright, but the van is parked. Oh, I can't even see that. The van's parked over there. Can you see the van? Still in Croatia. So we moved from the nice harbour that we were at to park in the city of Zadar for a few days of work. So we were parked up kind of on a back street somewhere. It was fairly near the sea, so it was quite nice, but we just sat in the van really. It was not very nice weather. Got some work done. Yesterday was a chores day. And then last night, late last night, we've come to park up near the sea. We thought it was going to be a nice peaceful place to be after the city, but it's so windy. The theme for Croatia seems to be windy. It's everywhere we park, the van is just rocking like mad. It's probably the time of year we've come, to be fair.
Probably. Kind of winterish.
Yeah, it's getting into summer, and it's just early March, so I know certainly in Scotland it's very windy and cold this time of year, so it makes sense.
Should we go for a windy walk?
So we were gonna go and take a little explore, but it's taken us all morning to get up the nerve to get out of the van. So we're all wrapped up. And we have to do this intro in the van because there's no way we'll hear anything when we get outside.
Let's go.
Shall we go? It's actually not that cold out here.
What?
It's not as cold as it is like around our house. I think the wind's just traumatized me. Look at this. What on earth is this?
So let's make a crab maybe?
You locked the van. Van life tip. Always lock the van when you leave.
The wind's blowing the camera, goodness sakes. We're at the tip of a peninsula that we read that you're meant to be able to cut across over to the next little island at the tip of the peninsula when it's low tide. And the tide's now going out, so...
I don't think we're going to be stuck. We've come across to this little island. There doesn't seem to be anything on it except for a tiny little church over there. Can't find anything about it online, so I'm gonna go take a look.
One thing we've noticed about the water in Croatia is it's always crystal clear. Oh, this is the windy side.
There's no windows on this side. See, they know what they're doing.
They definitely do.
Navigation ready. So this park up's absolutely gorgeous, but the van is rocking like this the whole time. There seems to be very high winds across the whole of the Croatian coast. So we're gonna try and move to another park up. Now, it might be worse, it might be better. We've had a lot of very windy park ups, but we've got the entire day.
Yeah.
It's kind of midday on a Sunday, so we're just gonna go and see.
Going for a drive. It'll be fun.
See what we see and maybe find somewhere a bit less windy, or maybe get blown away in the process.
We'll find out. Adventure.
That's us. We've just arrived at this harbour in a small town.
Yeah, kind of stumbled upon it.
We stumbled upon it because the sat-nav took us what it thought was the best route, but it was trying to take us down streets that were physically too narrow for this van to fit down, and this is not a very wide van. So we ended up here and we thought, wow, it's a harbour, but it's really sheltered. So we left here and carried on to our park up, and we discovered the park up was really exposed and down a really bad road. So we just came back here. This will do nicely for a couple of days.
Perfect.
This looks all fuzzy this morning because that's spray from the sea. It was extremely windy last night. The wind picked up about 4 AM.
Yeah.
And the van was shaking and swaying. I couldn't sleep because I was like, this is it, we're actually going to die. The van's going to blow over and we'll be dead, and that'll be the end of travel. So I've been lying awake for most of the morning, just waiting to die.
Let's get some shopping done.
So we're going to leave this spot, we're going to head a bit more north, we're going to get some shopping done and try and get out of this area. When you check the weather forecast, it's at the centre of the storms here, but it was where we were yesterday, so it's like moving up the country, and I'm just like, oh, just leave us alone. We just come to this supermarket to get food, and you walk in through the doors and the doors open and then you go to a supermarket, but they're building it.
Some of the shelves have food and things on it, but then they're still like setting up the checkouts. There's just people kicking around and you can walk right in.
Yeah, it's like a normal supermarket, but it's being built, so that's not open yet. It was open.
Strange. Never had that happen before.
It's the weirdest shopping experience ever. I guess we're not getting any bread from here. On we go. Look how salty the windscreen is. There are trolleys outside. There are people with items in trolleys. It's a restaurant with a man clearing glasses. We're going to give this another go. Do you think this one's open?
It looks open.
Yeah. If it's not open, it looks deceptively open. Success! They were open, they had lots of fresh food. Got fresh fruit and veg, some lovely fresh bread. And I'm much happier now. I've never seen a real yellow submarine. It's got SpongeBob on the back.
SpongeBob lives in a yellow submarine.
Yep.
We have arrived at a place. It's a bay. There's a sunken ship in the bay.
So we've arrived at the viewpoint on top of the hill. So we're going to go and see if we can see the sunken ship. Supposedly there's a hiking trail, you can walk down to it. And we'll find out. No throwing rocks. No being a dog. No Santa Claus. No chasing snakes. No camping. No emitting radio waves. Don't touch flowers. No fire. What's this? Don't pick up cans. No rock climbing. No, you can fall. You can go under a rock fall. Look at the sign. Take a photo. Get your boat out. Go for a swim. Do some diving.
Do be an ancient ruin.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Collapsing columns. Pay the entrance fee. Take your binoculars.
Turns out the car park to see this thing isn't actually the way to get down to it.
Scott was in charge of this one. It's pretty cool, it's a nice view. I would just like to say yesterday I did star on Park for Night, the park up that we could walk down to there from, but Scott said he found a better one. We have arrived again. Turns out you need to go into the town nearby to get to the cove. Round 2. That's where we were. Here we are now, so there's the sunken battleship. You could see it better from up on the hill.
Much better from up on the hill.
It's a gorgeous walk here. It cost 30 kuna to walk along this path. There's a funny man in a hut. He said, swim, swim. We're like, no, not today.
I'd like to. I would.
A little bit cold. Let's carry on. Are you gonna jump in?
I'd love to. It's just a bit chilly. So that cove was incredible. Amazing
so,
place.
So beautiful, and a really easy walk there as well, just along the...
From the harbour, follow the shoreline, and suddenly you're in a cove.
We did discover when we got there on the map there was a red line indicating that we probably could have walked from the viewpoint we were at. When I looked on the map, the walk didn't seem to leave from the viewpoint. We would have had to go up the road and then turn and take a really steep, windy path. So
it wasn't obvious.
It wasn't obvious, it's not signposted, and we've tried taking non-signposted paths before and it's been a disaster. So we're stand by the decision to park in the town and walk around it.
It worked out.
It worked out, that was a lovely day out. So we're going to head on to our next park up, which is about an hour north. We're looking to find somewhere fairly peaceful, not windy, ideally.
Not windy at all, no.
And near a town, ready to start the work week. Drive up a big hill, you've got to bring plenty of drinking water and lots of food. So we're sitting here for the work week. Had a busy day on the computers.
Oh yeah.
And we've tidied up Scott's beard.
It feels so nice. I didn't realise how good it feels to just have a tidy beard.
So he's looking better. The van's had a good tidy. There's my computer sitting out. And so the van's looking tidier, Scott's looking tidier. So we're just going to sit here for a few days, get some work done, and then the weekend's coming, and that'll be the point where our Schengen visa will reset and we're able to re-enter Europe. Yeah, so when I say our Schengen visa's resetting, that means we'll have been 91 days out of Europe, so we've got a fresh 3 months to go back in. We don't have any clear plans. We know we're going to go back into Italy because we loved it there. So we're not going to go right down into Italy, just across the north and maybe visit some areas we missed last time. To get there we'll have to go through Slovenia.
Yeah.
At least for...
See what we see when we go.
Yep. And then we haven't decided if we're going to head up to Germany or through France into Spain.
I guess we'll just kind of decide as we do it.
We'll just see where the wind takes us.
That's it.
So that's the plan. We'll catch up again soon.